Good evening, YouTube. I'm a 30-year-old black person with autism spectrum disorder who has several years of experience and skills in learning systems administration, quality assurance, IT asset management, and tech support. I also have skills in writing, photography, research and analysis, and I have a government and politics degree from the University of Maryland, College Park. Since 2014, I was forced to be the sole provider of my unemployed parents with my meager income since they got laid off due to being subject to age discrimination at their former employer. They had been struggling to seek new work since, but despite their best efforts, they could not find a new permanent full-time job. Another reason is even though I'm on a housing wait list for Section 8 in Prince George's County, it'll take decades. It'll take decades for me to get out of the housing wait list and to get a new Section 8 housing voucher. And if we have to leave the house, we will not be able to enter a homeless shelter because we were able-bodied and emergency housing is full. And housing rent assistance was never available at the time and rarely fully funded for the past 3 years. My parents ran out of unemployment on April 2015, and they're not eligible for Social Security because they're not the age of 62. I had to forego moving out of my parents, paying off my student loans, paying off credit cards, and forego getting IT certifications for Linux and A+, or build a proper savings fund for myself, or basically I can't even focus on side projects such as publishing a non-fiction political book. All those things I want to do when I want to move out in 2014. And later on I had to forego life milestones and opportunities just to keep my parents from living in the streets. Some of these opportunities I will never have again. Despite my parents' best efforts to seek work and their experience and skill sets in business management, contract management, events management, HR, business, recruitment, data research, planning and coordinating, they have never gotten called back from an employer in these in the businesses that have these fields. Not even Walmart or McDonald's will hire them. Not even dollar stores will hire them because they actually want younger workers in this economy. Private charity and churches I saw out either require people work for minimum help or tell a story that they don't have the funding or they cannot help me without saying why. In some cases, they talked to me and had consultation with. Some cases they talked to me and I had conversations with church organizations that will help me find a job on my resume, and they never got back to me. Or I tried to follow up with them for an update, and it goes straight to voicemail. I've tried contacting my county representatives and my congressional representatives, and they never directly contacted me to talk about what I'm going through as I thought poverty and joblessness is a serious issue in this day and age. What they did was number dumping. They gave me a listing of numbers and resources to services that either don't have the resources to help, unable to help, or we're already using. The only employers that wanted to hire them were temp agencies that tried to shove them into a warehouse position, which caused my mom to have pain in her legs, and she discovered to have osteoporosis. The effects on my life are severe for me. We had to leave our apartment because we could not afford it, and we had to move to a rented house. Thus, we have accumulated over $5,000 of past due rent as a result until they found a renter. I had student loans that I could not pay off for the past 4 years. That's $26,000. In addition, I have to use my credit card to pay for moving costs, and that's a debt of at least $10,000 I was planning to pay off. before I was laid off from my IT job in October 2017, I have spent at least $54,000 to support my parents, and at least $30,000 that would have been put into savings to pay off my student loans. And for the past 3 years, I've been past due with all utilities because of lack of money. Because of all this, plus the unpaid rent for the apartment that I had to leave, my credit rating is in poor shape. I had to sacrifice my health, as in to skip my own doctor's appointments, and my dental health, and I had to go and with dental health, I had to forego teeth fillings I had planned to continue in 2014. My mental health has also faltered as my emotional and physical energy has been drained so much that it takes me a month to even write a paper or analysis paper or respond to an email, or hours to even play a video game or read a book due to the fatigue and chronic stress or supporting my parents. It has affected my speaking as I stutter and constantly mispronounce and skip words, adjectives, verbs a lot more often. My writing is the same thing, and for typing it caused me to mistype words a lot because my hands shake uncontrollably from time to time. I have something called a micro shakes. Yeah, micro tremors, where when you type, you oftentimes skip to the next word, or sometimes, some cases, type the same keys at the same time. Actually type two keys at the same time. Worse, I got laid off from my federal contractor job on October 2014 due to a federal contracting transition that was out of my hands. The new contractors simply could not afford to pick up all contractors, so they had to let go some of the old contractors. That includes me. Despite my best efforts of job seeking, I've applied for 3,000 jobs, and for the most part I received no callbacks. Recruiters often ask for my resume or come to their offices for an initial discussion or meeting, only to end up with nothing or can't help weeks later. Government programs, too, that I'm in have been slow going despite all the requirements and prerequisites and meetings that I've done, and they still can't find any openings they can fill me in. Despite having a network of family, co-workers I worked with, friends that either unable to help or they were in a position but they couldn't find anything that could fit me. As for my friends and co-workers, they either have not returned my phone calls, they either unable to help me, or they're in the same boat. Oh crap. Or in some cases, they told me that they couldn't help me at all due to a certain personal issue they disclosed. Even worse, in this house, we actually got problems. Mice, rodents, a bug infestation. That's actually affecting my parents' health. Now, I did register with the Maryland Developmental Disability. I actually registered with the Maryland Developmental Disabilities Administration around a few months ago, but it's going to take them 2 months to make a final decision, for possible another month to get this service started. The only job leads that are pending are in the U.S. government for IT specialists, which its status has not been updated since last year, despite submitting a Schedule A letter, and a state government position for a job support specialist that has only had its status updated just last month. I was told I was highly qualified, but it was going to take me another 3 weeks for me to even know if I'm hired or not. My unemployment benefits also expired a few weeks ago, and me and my family will be in danger of being homeless. We don't have the money or resources to move to a low cost of living state, and even then there won't be much jobs that will fit me unless it's in prison, truck driving, or low-wage service industry, which everyone and their parents have, or in the trades, which I'm not qualified for the trades because I have scoliosis. As for the military, I'm not even qualified Due to my developmental disability and my scoliosis, I'll be rejected for the military almost immediately. So my career and job options are limited. And my bills, I'm actually still behind my bills, credit card bills, and I actually have one student loan bill that was very close to default. And if any student loan gets defaulted, I'll be ineligible for any job that requires recertification of a public trust in a different department of the US government or in the private sector that requires a credit check. That's why I'm asking for help. My initial goal is to get at least $10,000, more than enough to give some of the money to my parents so they can have time to rent out the house, for me to rent a room outside of the area, get A+ in Linux Plus certificate, an A+ in Linux certificate, and move to a better job market. I live in the DC area, and despite the booming IT job market, you are basically required to know someone that is willing and able to help, which I have very few that are able to help. And you're required to have an active secret clearance for most jobs, since most employers are not willing to sponsor for a secret clearance because it takes 6 months. But my ultimate goal is to reach at least $100,000, more than enough for a fresh start to pay off my credit cards, student loans, and past due rent that I've accumulated for the past 3 years, and use the remainder so I can have a fresh start in life and concentrate on my dreams and goals that I have to forego and sacrifice for the past 4 years, like writing a non-fictional political book, or traveling to Japan, or Britain, or Europe, even South Africa, Australia. Maybe start my career as a broadcaster, a Twitch streamer broadcaster, or YouTuber that records footage, prepares them, and broadcasts them live or upload them on YouTube for that everyone to see. I got thousands of hours of footage, possibly hundreds of hours of footage that I have yet to upload on YouTube, mostly dealing with anime conventions and my travels in New York City and Washington DC and Baltimore that I never uploaded because I never had the chance to do it. But if I get at least, but if I have $100,000, I will at least be able to have a fresh start and have my own life. And my parents will be safe. And my parents will be okay with me going. Now I have a Gofundme page set up. And I've been actively promoting it on Twitter and Facebook. If I can at least get $10,000 by the end of May, I'll be grateful, really grateful. This is me, J-Kid, with Bojon the Bear and Skates the Turtle, signing off. If you like this video, please subscribe, or please subscribe and like this video, and make a comment. Have a good night.